Generation Z, which I think gets really ahead of me fast. Crazy to think about it, but it's the 8 to 23-year-olds. They will be a primary market group over the next 10 years. It's noteworthy that they are 40% of all, they'll be 40% of all consumers by 2020, which isn't that far. And then I think it's noteworthy for me and for all of our B2B clients that in 10 years, they'll be 33. And they'll be ones making B2B buying decisions. So like this whole millennials thing we like talking about is over. Let's stop talking about that. They are different, actually. No offense, millennials, but in several good ways. The millennials, but they're one core thing is that they're true digital natives. They're like the first generation to truly grow up in like the social, mobile, Amazon era. So we have to know that when we think about how we appeal to them, right? Because they're going to be the most tech savvy of any generation ever. And one key point, you can read a bunch of stuff. I just pulled out a couple of nuggets. That one is that personalized messaging, like we talked about earlier. They want it direct and to the point. They do not want voicemail. I mean, never leave them a voicemail, ever. Don't leave me a voicemail. I'm 38. They don't like email as much. They would prefer you text them, even though you're a business. Just text them. Leverage user-generated content. So we're not going to get away with it with them of not having customer reviews, which it's no longer an option. So we have to figure out how to get them. Adept has to figure out how to get them. Like some B2B professional services companies, it's not natural to collect 4-star or 5-star ratings. So we're all going to have to figure that out and what that means. But we have to provide third-party objective insight into how we perform. And then lastly, beating a dead horse here, but leveraging video communications. That's all they consume for the most part. And we have to embrace that if we want to talk to them or communicate with them in any way. And then actually, lastly, which I appreciate because I share this sentiment as well, I must be a Z, Generation Z, they hate Facebook. It's absolutely not the path they're going to follow because we're all on it. And they think that's not cool. And I'm sure it'll be another network than what we have now. So I'm going to let Danielle bring it home because she loves to share action items if you know her well.
Exactly. I was going to say, we can't wrap up with saying, okay, so based on all of this, like, what do we actually do with it, right? So even though we're talking about the next 10 years, what can we do today? And so I think if we boil it down just to 5 action items, one is become an avid user of AI assistants. If you don't have an Alexa or you don't have a Google Home, get one or borrow one from a friend. My 4-year-old can talk to Alexa, so I think all of us in this room can be successful at it as well. Second, invest now to track as much data as you can about your customers. If it's something you've been holding out on or something that you've been holding back on investing in, it will never hurt you. It will only benefit you now and in the future. Number 3, be on Amazon. Watch the trends closely to see what they're doing. Pay attention to that. Number 4, as Justin said, challenge the assumptions that you might have that you already know your customer's path to purchase, and to just make sure you really truly do understand it using data from potentially outside your organization. And number 5, embracing Gen Z. I know another generation we have to embrace, but we'll have to do it and adjust your strategy accordingly.